Hey everyone, and welcome back to Timeless. We're going to be shifting. We're going to be telling. We might even be grabbing some caches. Today we're going to be playing some Shift and Tell. This is a deck that I had on my list as somewhat viable decks that you could bring to the metagame challenge. I do think that standard Show and Tell is a little bit more well positioned right now, and I think that's going to perform better at the metagame challenge. But if you think this version is fun, like me, and you love playing this version and you don't have as much experience piloting the traditional Show and Tell, I think this is a viable alternative that you could bring to the metagame challenge or the upcoming qualifier. Just a little bit down in the meta right now because people are starting to clue into what this deck is doing. People are running a lot of exile discard like Juggernaut Peddler at the advice of someone, and they are exiling your win conditions from your hand, unfortunately. But this deck does have a lot of upsides and a lot of reasons to play it. One of the reasons is the consistency. Now with Cash Grab, we have 12 copies if we want it of these effects. We're actually only playing 10. But we have a lot of ways to fill our graveyard for cheap. We also have access to Ugin's Binding, which is a 0-mana way to bounce the whole board. And yes, it does work if you evoke out a Null Drifter. So if you get this thing into your graveyard with one of your many self-mill effects, and you evoke a Null Drifter, you get to bounce your opponent's whole board for free and buy yourself a whole bunch of time against decks like Energy. The Boros Energy matchup is super, super, super easy. It's trivial. They really can't interact with you. It's just the Mardu Energy where they're pocking Juggernaut Peddler. That is what gives you issues. They have a lot of cards that are specifically going to shut down your deck. Juggernaut Peddler, like I'm the guy who made the sideboard guide for the deck, right? And the reason I put Juggernaut Peddler into the deck, so a couple of reasons, but one of them is this deck. Being able to exile something like Ugin's Binding or exile the Omniscience instead of putting it into the graveyard is absolutely huge. Another problem this deck has is that against traditional Show and Tell, this does just end up being a step slower. So it's tough that we have rough matchups against the top two decks of the format, but by the merit of being like a one-ring deck, having access to Ugin's Binding, having all of these cool Eldrazi as alternate win conditions, having ramp on the Ugin's Labyrinth, having Devourer of Destiny to shape your openers, this deck does have a lot of merit to it. I think this is still somewhat close compared to stock Sultai Show and Tell as, the second best Show and Tell build in the format. And I think it's super fun at least. I don't think the sideboard has changed since the last time we played it. I'm going to go over it again. Tested Talents is for the Show and Tell mirror. You're going to want to bring this in. In that mirror, you sometimes side out some copies of your Show and Tell, which is a bit of a weird mental game. Usually you go down to 2 copies. Sometimes you could even go down to 0, though 2 is more correct. Mastermind's Acquisition, Approach to the Second Sun, and where is it? Bond Insight right here. These are your win condition from your sideboard. Masterminds grabs Masterminds. Masterminds grabs Bond. Bond will get back both Masterminds so that you can double cast Approach. Defense Grid, 4 copies of this for when we are up against Control, because we are a little bit slower version of Show and Tell, meaning that Control is going to have more time to counterspell us, so we're going to want to slam one of these Defense Grids. Stonebrain is going to be for Show and Tell mirrors and other miscellaneous combo decks. We are a fast mana deck with Ugin's Labyrinth, so we can rip our opponent's win condition out of their deck really quick, which is awesome. Force of Vigor is a way to blow up artifact and enchantments that are hating on us. And lastly, one with the Multiverse. This is an alternate win condition for opponents who play Surgical Extraction, because Surgical is on the rise. Again, Mardu Energy is playing that card. So if our Omniscience gets Surgical, we do want a backup way to win the game in one with the Multiverse. It's also nice to just have access to 5 copies of Omniscience in some matchups. I think that's going to be it for me for the deck tech. Let's go ahead and get to the gameplay. Alright, game with Shift and Tell. We have a hand, alright. It doesn't do anything too busted too fast, but we do have Null Drifter to imprint onto Ugin's Labyrinth. I do want to get these bindings out of my hand. They're kind of worthless cards. I think Null Drifter, imprint onto binding, and draw 2 cards is probably good enough of a start in the blind. Not sure what we're playing against. Without a companion, it's probably some other combo deck, but we can't really say. Hopefully we don't get punished too bad. I'm going to go ahead and fetch out a Surveillant here to start, probably. Okay, so now we can go Null into One Ring at least. That's not bad at all. We also can Emergency Ugin's Binding, just in case something funny does happen. And it looks like we might be against traditional Show and Tell. Be tough. Surveillant? Founding would be a decent card to play, not without something to cast with it, so let's go ahead and put it in the graveyard. And let's go ahead and imprint our Null Drifter here. So we can use Ugin's Binding as like an emergency way to fight against Omniscience hitting the battlefield. Maybe that is what we're supposed to do instead of drawing two. It really is something. If they cast Show and Tell, we get to put a Null Drifter into play, which isn't exactly groundbreaking. We get to put an Ugin's Binding into our graveyard soon, so that still doesn't do much against Show and Tell. Yeah, this is unfortunately a really crappy hand in Show and Tell mirrors. That's okay. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have Omnitel plus Born here, because then they're like totally good to go if they have Omnitel plus Born. Pretty unlikely that they have Born Upon a Wind on top of everything else. Yep, so Show and Tell is going to happen. I'm going to put Null Drifter into play. The Annihilator 1 is going to be pretty sweet when we get to untap here. And then I'm going to Ugin's Binding away whatever they put into play. Okay, it was just an Atraxa here. There's your Omni, no telling. I think we're still supposed to bounce Atraxa and then just get annihilating their lands. That seems pretty decent to me. Are we gonna win this? I don't believe it. They can tutor here. Yeah, they do have the mana to tutor. So that could be problematic. Yep, they're gonna be assembling. But lucky for us, we do get to start annihilating lands. But if they do put together exactly Omni plus Tell, then it's a problem. Bounce you. They also get to consider what we should be doing here. Annihilate your lands. Should we just hold up Binding again? They do have Born in hand, so the line of bounce their Omniscience before anything funny happens is not going to work. If we go into our sideboard, do I have Surgical Extraction? No. I could Fae of Wishes here and grab Test of Talents. Actually, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. Go to my sideboard. Ooh, I could also get Force. Nope, can't cast that for free. Alright, says the talents it's gonna be. So if they don't have it this turn, then we can try to counter it on a subsequent turn. They're gonna have a max of 3 mana for the rest of the game as long as we get to keep attacking. This is a very funky game one. Cool way to start a video, though. Get to see something a bit unusual. All right, yep, let's go ahead and keep annihilating them, right? I'm gonna go ahead and grab another blue mana here. Or at least just play Misty and get blue mana later. This way we can have both Ugin and Test up, just in case it's somehow relevant. I doubt it would be. Assemble a team. This is the one spell they get this turn. I think I'd rather just save my Test of Talents for their actual combo card. Because they could always just get lucky and then draw their combo card, and then I would feel pretty stupid. All right, let's go ahead and Surveil here. Maybe we can get Shifting Woodland ready to copy something if we hit the perfect card. There is the card Show and Tell that I definitely don't want to cast in this matchup. So we can copy something, but we don't have another like creature that turns sideways to attack them with, so we won't. And we're just going to hold up double interaction. What a cool game one. What a cool one. I think we have it under control with them only having 3 mana. Yeah. Wow. That was cool. All right. The Show and Tell sideboard plan is to bring in... Oh god, this is always such a funny sideboard plan. So the tests come in, the Stonebrain comes in. We cut some of our Show and Tells. Not all of them. We cut some. We go to 2. As for the rest of the cuts, what else do we want? We can just cut some of our medium power filtering. Here, we can cut like a Founding and a Cash Grab. Actually, oh no, we were supposed to cut Ugin's Bindings, really? Yeah. I'm remembering. I'm trying to sideboard off memory. It's been a minute since I played this deck. We put all of this stuff in, bring in probably Force. We do Force to blow up their stuff. Just thinking about what's most viable against a Show and Tell deck. We could do Force to blow up their stuff, or we could do Ugin's Binding to bounce it. Force for 0 mana probably seems best. Though maybe having access to 1 binding is kind of good. Yeah, 1 binding it as an out is pretty good. Let's go ahead and run it back like this. What we got here? We do have Ugin's Labyrinth Mana Ramp online again, which is awesome. My opponent's going first, though. No sideboard cards as well to be spotted here. That's a little troublesome. I will keep this, though. Just because we have that mana acceleration, if we happen to hit a sideboard card, we could play that sideboard card pretty easily. Also, what's really cool in this matchup with Fae of Wishes is now that we sideboarded out copies of Show and Tell, we could always just get it out of our sideboard if we want it, which is really cool. Let's go ahead and take a Surveil land here. I'm curious what kind of technology they brought in against us. I'm not a Show and Tell gamer, so I'm not sure exactly how they sideboard against Shift. We'll keep a land on top, especially a land that blows up enchantments. It seems pretty good. Mill Drifter, and then let's go ahead and Found. We're going to cast our Rumble for free. And then hopefully, best case scenario is we hit Shifting Woodland and put something cool into our graveyard. We didn't hit Shifting Woodland, but we can put Omniscience into our graveyard, which definitely constitutes something cool. And then next turn we get to put a One Ring into play. And then hopefully off of that ring we could draw Shift and then go nuts with Omniscience. But this is like implying our opponent doesn't get to do their thing first. We also could be a lucky bastard and just draw Shifting Woodland in our draw step. Yeah. With this extra mana off of Ugin's Labyrinth, we do have the ability to win as soon as our combo card does show up. I remember the original version of this deck when it had Traverse the Ulvenwald as another way to find your combo card. That was interesting. The Rumble plan, Rumble plus the redundant copies of it in Founding a Third Path, ended up just being a bit more reliable. What does our opponent have? Do they have it? If they have it, I'll scoop. I didn't get any sideboard cards. Yeah, you got it. Wonder if I'm supposed to mulligan harder to sideboard cards here. I do have a ring, so in case they fizzle, we can probably win on our turn. Nah, they got. Okay. Game 3. Keep it the same, right? Yeah, let's keep it the same and run it back. Playing first. Hopefully we can make something good happen. We have the ability to rumble on turn 2. We have an Omni but no Tell. Is this good enough? This hand seems average. I think we might be able to do better. We also might want to go for a sideboard card. What do we think? What do we think? I don't know. Turn 2 Rumble is hard to say no to. Especially since we have our own Omniscience in hand. Our own Omniscience, which would profit pretty well off of them greedily jamming a Show and Tell. But they would have to fizzle, of course, and the turn would have to come back to us. Let's go ahead and fetch here. We're trying to hit another land drop with the Rumble. Hopefully we hit the land, Shifting Woodland. We didn't, but we can grab probably a Labyrinth here. Let's go ahead and grab the Labyrinth. Next turn we could play a One Ring, but still, this is sus against Show and Tell. I think I should have mulliganed a little bit more. What do you guys think? It's like I'm just hoping that I go faster than them, which is never where you want to be when you're playing against Show and Tell. All right, your turn. They can't win this turn without a Dark Ritual. Okay, so the turn comes back to me. That is indeed my own Omniscience. I'm going to put Null Drifter under here. Then we're going to cast a ring and draw a gazillion cards. Okay, there's a Rumble. Cool. So I think if we Rumble into Shifting Woodland, we would be able to have enough mana to activate it, which is pretty cool. With all these extra spawns running around. But again, we have to like feed our opponent doing their combo here on turn 3. They haven't tutored yet or anything, so it's not super likely that they just have it. Okay, looks like they got something going on. Let's go ahead and put Omniscience into play. It's not better to put one of these in, right? Nah. I guess we have to hope they fizzle, but that never happens when they have 5 cards in hand. So I guess I'll speed it up to a kill. All right, that's a mastermind, so we'll go ahead and scoop. I think I should have mulliganed more aggressively. I think that's the only way we would have had a shot in game 2, game 3. Both of those games we kept hands that, sure, if we had another turn or two, they could have definitely turned into wins for us. But I think when you're against the classic show and tell, you do have to respect them. You do have to mulligan to your sideboard cards, or at least try to. And that's one of the unfortunate parts about this deck. That's why when I was doing the metagame challenge recommendations, I did put it down a little bit. And I said, okay, this is a bit more fringe. You could play it if it's your favorite. But the big issue it has is that it just gets rolled by the traditional show and tell deck. But if you're the dude who has hundreds of games on this deck, I think you are still okay to play this in the metagame challenge. I haven't played this deck in a week or two, so that's why I'm fumbling a little bit here. All right, game 2. We're going to be up against Goblin BR. What we got here? We got an Omniscience in hand. We just need to find the other half of our combo. It's a little tough to do with Cash Grab, as it's a non-permanent card, so it's hard to get into our hand. I think I'm going to mulligan this. Should I? I think there's better hands on average. Fae of Wishes is also dead until we get an Omniscience into play. There's better hands that we can have. This hand is a little bit sus, but we have all these Devourers. So what we're going to do is just use them to filter to a win. As long as we can find mana, then I think we should be able to win. Just any blue mana, or even green mana for Cash Grab should be fine. We could probably put the Ugin's Binding back and just keep all these Eldrazi. Yeah, of course, perfect case would be finding Omniscience and the blue mana. That would be great. Right, we get both of these triggers. I wanted to make sure we didn't whiff on mana. I definitely could have not kept them. So let's go ahead and take this forest for the cash grab. Oh, wow. Okay, we exiled 2 Omnisciences. That's kind of bad. And then hopefully we can cash grab into a blue source or something. This is a bit of a weird hand to keep, though. Once we cash grab into blue, then we get to Null Drifter, draw some cards. I don't know if we need to keep both Devourers. Maybe we could have kept something else to help give us a little bit of stock against other decks. All right, looks like a very fair deck with DRC in it. I am cool with that. We're hoping to find like a blue source here, and then maybe luck sack our way into an Omniscience. Otherwise, we'll just be casting Null Drifters. Yeah, they do get some discard in. Let's go ahead and cash grab now. Just make sure we don't get like 2 mana screwed. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and take that basic. Ooh, Binding. It's a good one to have put in the graveyard. They probably respect the combo and take Show and Tell here, I would think. I wonder if it's going to be worth bouncing just Darcy here. Oh, shift. Hello. No Omniscience in the bin yet, though. Alright, well, we're going to have one show up there somehow. Let's go ahead and evoke this. I don't know if we really want to exile this Binding. I think I'm going to... I think I might as well. Slow them down any little bit that we can. Next turn we have Shifting Woodland, able to copy something. But we do still need to put something busted into the graveyard, but Cash Grab can of course do that. And even if we whiff on that, if we just find a green source, then we could have like Shifting Woodland copy up Null Drifter or Devourer and get fair attacking. Alright, that's a Tarmogoyf hitting the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I could have waited on... waited on something. Alright, with Cash Grab, I think I would want to keep... do I want to keep blue or green up? It's a bit of a choice here. Actually, wait, we can use colorless mana and not make a choice. Yeah, and then grab... Oh, I can't grab Rumble, right. Since I don't have One Ring mana, we're going to grab Null Drifter and evoke it. Here's an Omniscience. We just need it to get in the graveyard somehow. Or have a Show and Tell show up. Anything funny like that. Also, we're gonna have 7 mana so that we could just start to Devour next turn. I might like just Devour, kill their Tarmogoyf. Another Goyf, yep. Good old Jund coming through. Lots of Jund friends today. Alright, let's, ooh, channel. I do not have time for that, I think. Go ahead and stick you under there. Go ahead and cast this. Get rid of Tarmogoyf. I had another line where like I cast Ugin's Binding and then like channel out Devourer to bounce their whole board. That was something I could have also done. Then whenever I draw green source, I can also Shifting Woodland, Fair Copy, and Eldrazi. I know I said that a minute ago, but it is relevant. We could also copy a ring just to draw a card. The land keeps the burden counter, so if we keep copying ring every turn, we draw more cards subsequently. We also won't lose life from the burden counters because it'll keep reverting to being a land in our upkeep, which is funny. I'd love to draw the card Show and Tell, though. That would be awesome. Alright, my opponent is going to attack with Nethergoyf. They probably have some sort of a removal spell that will help them trade here. I think I'm fine with it. Yeah, you got nothing. Interesting. Obsessive nothing. I think we might just go for Annihilator 1 beats. Yeah, we can go for Annihilator 1 beats and also keep up Ugin's Binding, which is awesome. My opponent doesn't have that many permanents in play, so this is defensible. Oh, right, they have a Shaman. Ah, idiot. You idiot. That'll have to be fine, I think. And then we're going to get beating with our Eldrazi. I think beat with our Eldrazi is still the best way to do it. We'll go ahead and Ugin's Binding, probably bounce Deathrite Shaman coming up soon. Yeah, there's a Bowmasters. This isn't great. Alright, they take the hit. Bounce Deathrite Shaman on their end step, probably, but I might end up needing to bounce DRC, depending on what they do. Hey, command! Wait, that's good for me. I do not mind discarding an Omniscience, thank you. That is gonna be Delirium for them. Okay, Omniscience, sure. Okay, so we go to 10, they're gonna hit us here, but then we get to Ugin's Binding something to live. Yeah, they can't take us off Delirium or anything, so we're just gonna bounce Darcy, save 3 life, and then we copy up Omniscience and hopefully win. It does require some luck, actually. We would have these boys to cast after the Omniscience hits. Okay, so maybe not all luck required. Yeah, we copy up Omniscience with these 4 lands, and then we can get both of these back from under the Labyrinth to at least stabilize here. Another Woodland. Yeah, that's not an ideal draw, but whatever. Let's go ahead and do that. Copy up Omniscience here. And then come back. Come back. And then we're going to exile... Actually, I don't even need to exile the Flyers. We're going to bounce all of them. Let's go ahead and exile the Shaman. Exile Bowmasters, because that is an ETB, probably. Big action. Alright, it just all bounces. I don't even get to exile you. Now, the grand question is, do I want to wait a turn to play this so that I can exile something else? I think the answer is probably yes. We're only going to get to deploy so many blockers. I could also fair copy a Null Drifter coming up, because they won't have a Deathrite Shaman without Summoning Sickness, right? And then this guy has flying. Yeah, a little bit of an awkward path to victory this game, but we got there. We figured it out. Okay. And they figured it out that we figured it out. Alright, so against creature gamers, I think we want the Forces of Vigor, just to blow up any graveyard hate that they bring in. Yeah, we still want all the Ugin's Bindings. It's going to be incredible in this matchup, so we just trim on these effects. Maybe we could even go to 1 Fey. It might be difficult to win if we go to 1 Fey. They might play Surgical Extraction, so actually this one with the Multiverse is going to be very, very good. And then we can just cut on one more effect here. Actually, we can trim on the channel when they're going first. They're really going to beat us up going first, so we might not have the luxury of channeling. That was a pretty quick keep. Forgot I was recording for a second, forgot to say why, but Cash Grab turn 2 is probably going to be consistent enough to get us where we want to go. We also have Fae of Wishes as an emergency blocker, which is fine. This isn't a busted hand, it isn't particularly fast, but we're not relying on anything right now to do our game plan. We can read the room with Cash Grab to decide where we want to go, so I do like this a lot. Alright, Hedge Maze. Oh man, do I wish I had an Uggin's Labyrinth right now. Founding, play Cash Grab for free seems like a pretty good turn 2 for me. We will continue to figure it out as we go. Alright, Thoughtseize. Okay. They get to take whatever they want. They might take Ring here. I'm hoping they don't take Cash Grab, because that was my plan this turn. I might deploy the Fair Fae of Wishes if they take Cash Grab. Yeah, I'm totally gonna just play a 1/4 blocker and hope that buys me enough time. Okay, they take my Null. Sure. So we're gonna Founding, copy Cash Grab. Oh, is that a binding I see? I will grab Omniscience because we only need one in the graveyard. We can draw Show and Tell for a win now, which is awesome. Arrest me? Yeah, so now they could take my ring. Okay, so that makes sense why they didn't take the ring last turn. That's what might take Omni. Okay, they take ring, yeah. Just gonna play my blocker here. Oh, another Cash Grab. That's pretty good. Dude, I want to find a Shifting Woodland. I'm gonna Cash Grab on their end step and try to find it. So we find Shifting Woodland, we do win. Or we at least get to... No, we do win, because we have a Fae in our hand. Straight up get to do the combo right here. Alright, that's gonna be cool with me. Is that all you got for your turn? Looks like it. I need to find Shifting Woodland, so we're gonna Surveil first. See if we can put it on top of our deck. Another Omniscience is cool. But I want a Woodland. No, give me a Woodland. Devourer or Misty, doesn't really matter. I think I would rather... Oh, Devourer is going to be pretty good for once we do get an Omni into play, which I think will happen soon enough. We're going to Rumble. Well, actually, no, we're going to Show and Tell from our graveyard. What are we talking about? Their guy does not... He does still have Summoning Sickness, so he cannot stop us. Omni goes into play. Hopefully they don't have some sort of strange Leyline Binding effect. I don't think there's one in your colors that you could play here in response to Omniscience. They could have a Reclamation Sage effect. That would work. Yep, just Bowmasters. Okay. Sure. I have Binding, correct? I do. So let's go ahead and bind their board. And then we'll Fae of Wishes get our win. Alright, awesome. Yeah, they knew we had Fae, so they just went ahead and scooped. Big win against Jund. Alright, we're up against Hollow Ballo. Lots of high-ranked gamers on today. They're presenting Lurrus as their companion. Ugh, icky. I would love to keep Uggin's Binding against Lurrus. However, this mana is really not going to make it work. We can... Wait, we can turn 2 One Ring? Nah, fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. I've not done a turn 2 One Ring off of Double Labyrinth yet. I don't think I have. I can't remember if I have. Your Ocelot Pride? Loser. We're gonna need a screenshot of this one. Give me that screenshot. Thank you. Alright, let's get drawing some cards, shall we? We need mana sources. Oh god. Another ring it is then. You just need a blue source to show up, so... Blue source? Oh, okay. It's fine. We just need a blue source, right guys? Or a green source, because we can rumble into the blue source for the following turn. Okay. Okay, they tried to peddle me. I repeat, a peddling was attempted. Alright, blue source. Omniscience, go! Alright, well, let's get cash grabbing. Just trying to find some sort of Bay of Wishes. Something fun in this deck. And there's a Drowner. Cadugan's Binding, start bouncing the board. Cast a Drowner, bounce all your stuff. Eee. You having fun, opponent? I'm having fun. Little Drifter, thank you. All right, and we will go ahead and take that concession. All right, that was goofy. That was goofy as fuck. Okay, so take out the channel when we're against Energy Gaming. We want Force of Vigor for their sideboard cards. So Mardu, if they're playing my version of the deck, they do have Surgical. They do have 2 Surgicals, so we want one with the Multiverse, and then we trim on these to make room. All right, game 2. We cannot turn 2 ring here, but we have Show and Tell in our hand, so the luck streak continues. Is that what it's like when you're a Show and Tell player? You just have the perfect hand every time. All right, they get to Thought Seize and take my Omni, but it's still a scary ass hand for them. It is still a hand that wins if I draw the right card, and at minimum just plays a 1 ring and draws a bunch of those cards. Let's play this tap to start out. Perfect thing to draw would be an Eldrazi for this, but if not, I think I'm just going to play like a fair Fae of Wishes to block. Okay. I will get a Juggernaut instead of a ring. That happens. I like my new Juggernaut. It's a fancy little vehicle. Alright, ooh. So we did draw an Eldrazi. Huh. Do we want to just play Fae, though? I think we do just want to play our Fae in blocker mode. I might want to evoke this Eldrazi because my other source of card advantage went away. I also could imprint this, play Jugger. Oh, it's nice to be on this side of the board for once. Now I'm the Juggernaut Goy. Oh, no, 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 no. I needed that Null Drifter. Give it back. Hey, give it back. Oh, God. And they get the name Shift? That's so good. But listen, I got a blocker, dude. Do you? No, you don't. Oh, you named the One Ring instead of Shift? That's probably fine for me. Alright, we're not going to show and tell a Juggernaut into play. I'm not going to let my Intrusive Thoughts win. My opponent's at 10, which is 2 Juggernaut hits, which is kind of funny, but I do not think we're going to get there. As an energy player, I can tell you that the show and tell deck usually does not get there, and usually will not kill you with the Juggernaut. Yep, I will be blocking. Man is blocking. Yeah, we just play a Juggernaut, right? Play a Juggernaut, get a green source in case we want an untapped woodland, because they did not needle it, interestingly. So we can actually just start copying up Null Drifter from our graveyard, which is really dope. Alright, goodbye, Juggernaut. I appreciated you while you were here. I will be blocking. Alright, so thankfully they named the ring and not Woodland, so if we get one more bit of Delirium... Oh, no! Dude, come on, man. Oh. We could also name Fae of Wishes, technically. I don't know if they would do that. Yeah, they named Shift. Alright, Force of Vigor or Bust, as they say. So now what do we want to do? I don't want to show this into play. That's kind of stupid. Are we just chilling? I think we're just chilling, right? We don't have anything else to do. We just sit here and stare at our opponent. I could imprint my 7-drop on the chance that I draw another 7-drop. Sure. Yeah, if I draw Omniscience, I could always just take it back. If I draw Omniscience, I do win. I have 3 copies in the deck, and I have a lot of things like Rumble that could chain me into it. We'll be taking 1 again. Slowest Mardu beats I've ever seen. That is a 1 ring. It does not work. I repeat, it does not work. I think I might play it anyway, because if I can get this ring into my bin... Oh, no, wait. I know how to get this ring into my bin. It doesn't even matter, because I'm not going to be able to activate Woodland. I'm thinking about the eventuality of when I get to activate Woodland. I can always just discard the ring to Fae. I don't think I need to play a ring for the turn of protection. I was thinking maybe I could play this Legend Rule get in my bin for Delirium. I need to do that. So we're looking to draw Force of Vigor or draw Omniscience or draw a way to dig for those. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just chilling until that happens. Be blocking over here. Oh, yeah, if they have nothing better to do with Luris, they can just give me the Juggernaut back and then prison it again for extra energy. Okay, here we're gonna go ahead and save Fae of Wishes. This does give me Delirium, which is pretty cool. We could also use it... Wait, what's in my sideboard? We could use it... Oh, hello, Binding. Yeah, hello, Binding. Yeah, let's go ahead and Binding their Needle on end step. All right, yeah, hello. Any other game actions I should take? Nope. We're just gonna Binding Needle on end step, and then we should be good to go. What was in our sideboard, though? I'm curious. Just a cash... I could have grabbed a cash grab out of the sideboard. No! Oh. Okay, we're gonna put this into the graveyard because it's good in the graveyard. Actually, wait, what do I want to bounce? Maybe I could bounce Luris? Just bounce something that they can't replay right away, right? Something like Luris. Oh, wait. Cool. This significantly reduces my outs, though. Okay, there goes my Fae, but that means I could still draw Omniscience and be totally fine. If I draw a 7-drop, I only have 6 mana in play, but eventually I could bounce these needles off of my Binding. Definitely have outs here. We're also going to go Juggernaut back eventually if our opponent lets us. I'll see if they're nice and let us. Okay. That is mana of a sort. Do I have 7 mana? I do. It does bounce their board. I don't think it's enough though, right? Because I bounce their board and then they just replay everything before I can go off. I want like a Null Drifter specifically, really. Getting hit for almost lethal here. Okay, we got dead. Dang. I wonder if I had a way to win there. Maybe I did and I missed it. And then game 3, we keep it the same in terms of sideboarding. All right, we're going to be on the play for game 3. What are we doing here? We got the Omni, but where's the Tell? We could certainly find it. I think we will keep this. This is kind of a mid-hand. But I am going to keep it. Ooh, Null Drifter. That's dope. We'll go ahead and keep that. So with Null Drifter, we could even either decide to draw 2 on turn 3, or we could just put it under the Labyrinth. I think I'm going to cash grab on turn 2, and then on turn 3, I could decide whether or not it just goes under the Labyrinth. If my opponent thought seizes here, then we'll play it by ear at that point. I do Thoughtseize here, okay. Wonder if they take my Omni to respect the combo, or if they take Cash Grab to slow me down. I might play a blocking Fae of Wishes again on my turn 2 if they do that. And then rely on Null Drifter turn 3 to actually draw some cards. Yeah, they do that. Okay, sure. I'm gonna go ahead, grab a green source here, and we're just gonna play Fae. He's gonna block. Look at this boy. Alright, and another Thoughtseize. It's a little unfortunate. So we lose our Null Drifter here. They might also take Omni just to be safe, because I could always just, like, Blind Rip Show and Tell off the top of my deck and make my opponent super salty. That's always an option. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're respecting the Blind Rip. We're going to decline to imprint here, and since there's no chance of a Bowmaster, let's draw 2. Ooh, a ring. A ring, you say? That's good. And we have an Ugin's Binding for later as well. So next turn we play Ring, turn after it's Binding, turn after it's Flashback Binding for free? Oh no. Stop having discard. I've said it a million times that this is the version of Show and Tell that doesn't mind getting discarded, right? So we're theoretically fine here. We just need the card Shifting Woodland to show up. Shifting Woodland shows up right now. Do we have Delirium? Creature, Artifact, Enchantment, Land? Yeah. We do. That's wild. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't Needle Shift. No, no, no. Hey, 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 hey. We're friends. Have it. It's fine. You could always bounce it out end step with our Binding. They should pick Shifting Woodland here, but I feel like there's a chance they name Ring again. I mean, it's kind of a pick your poison here, because if they name Woodland to prevent the combo, then I can just rumble into a Ring, very likely next turn. They do name Shift to respect the combo. Okay. So let's go ahead and begin with a rumble here. One with the Multiverse. Yeah, yeah. And there's my Shift. I'm still going to take it, by the way. I was hoping for some gas. Real gas. I'd probably keep this in hand to keep it safe from random effects. Is there a random land destruction effect they would be playing? Nah. Alright, well, we're going to try to do it. We're going to try to Ugin's Binding this on end step, and hopefully get the shift going. But the thing is, I don't have gas in hand. Like, I have nothing, in fact. So I'm questioning whether or not I'm even supposed to do it this turn. Right, because, like, I could do it. Oh, no. Oop. Oh, there goes my graveyard. Alright, what's in my sideboard for Fae to get again? Just a Cash Grab? Stone Brain? Yeah, nothing great. Static Prison? You gonna prison my Fae? It's rude. I think I let them take it, right? I could, of course, sack this. Right, not sack it, but just discard. I don't think I'm supposed to. A lot of hate pieces on the board, wow. Oh, I hope I draw a ring, right? That's my out here. I could also copy up one with the Multiverse. No, but they have a verse. Dang, they should have one too many things in play. Unfortunately. Oh, 2 bindings. Wait, 2 bindings? Mom said you could have 2 bindings? Alright, well, we're gonna bounce both. And then we'll copy up one with the Multiverse. So we get 2 draws to find something free with one with the multi, either on the top of our library or otherwise. We'll take the damage here. And we're gonna try to win. I think now is the time. I don't think we can wait any longer because they're gonna really start putting on the hurt. instead of my little guy. Understandable, because I could prevent them from making their token. I'm going to hit your Ugin's Binding. And then I'm also going to hit your Needle. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can combo. Lots of finger crossing. They hit... Oh, they can hit both of my effects right now, huh? Well, we're still going to try to do it, I think. And then what? Well, might as well go for it, because I think we're dead next turn. Yeah, I think my opponent just had one too many pieces of hate for me to play through. Yeah, we can copy up like a Null Drifter here. We can copy up a One Ring, doesn't work. Copy up a Null Drifter, doesn't work. A lot of things feel like they get close, but nothing really feels like it gets there. Right? Best thing I could do is copy this Null. That's something. I can attack you. Annihilator 1. Woohoo. Yippee. And they just lose their little thing. I'm technically not dead, but they're going to get their heat pieces back down. So I can't envision a world where I win. I mean, the world where I win is a world where I draw like One Ring into One Ring. I think that's something that could happen. One Ring into One Ring into Omnitel is kind of like what needs to happen. It needs to happen now, though, because we're going to go to 3 HP. Like, we need One Ring protection every turn for the rest of the game. Could, of course, also be Rumble into One Ring, so we have quite a few draws. It's not just literally one card that we have to find out at the top of our deck, so Rumble, tap this. Perhaps into a One Ring. Oof. No, we don't have the mana to hardcast Omniscience, but believe me, we're closer than you think. Null Drifter also won't work because they have a Bowmasters down. We hit both the Omni and the Tell there, sadly. But yeah. How much mana do we have? We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10. Alright, energy is gonna get it here. Alright, let's see if we can get one more game in with Shift. Alright, game 4. What we got here? We have a Channel Hand, potentially. I mean, we got 3 mana on turn 2. I think this is a great hand that we can keep. And if we get lucky and we spike double green, looks like a good old Shift and Tell mirror too. This is going to be awesome. All right, mirror to end the video. I think we're 1 and 2 so far. We've had a couple close losses, so maybe we can redeem ourselves in the mirror. Channel is one way to redeem yourself, right? All right. Ooh, that is a shift, ladies and gentlemen. I will draw it. That also means we just get the channel turn too. So, Hitchmaze me. Another colorless card like Ring would be fabulous. We don't have the payoff for Show and Tell, so it will go to the graveyard this time. Alright. And let's see if our opponent just Show and Tells us. Okay, nope, they'll be rumbling. My turn. Time to do a busted channel thing. Oh, Fae of Wishes. Almost. Could almost win with that boy. Not quite, though. So we're going to channel, and then we're just going to put an Old Drifter into play, draw 2 cards. Probably just put Devourer into play as a body as well. Yeah, we didn't hit anything that we could immediately play, but I don't think our life total matters all too much. I think we're just going to get the pressure on them. We're going to have these 2 cards that will kill them in 2 turns, plus we got Annihilator 1 on the battlefield. Even if they play like a One Ring to protect themselves, Annihilator 1 will still work, which is awesome. We could even like use Ugin's Binding to bounce this to make sure Annihilator does its thing. I think we're okay, though. I wouldn't say that we are decisively ahead. My opponent can do some pretty stupid things. And they also have Delirium for whenever something truly good hits the graveyard. Oh, this is a scary situation. Rumble. You got it. All right, what do we want to do here? I think I love the idea of bounce a spawn and then just start smothering my opponent with Annihilator triggers. I think that's pretty solid. If we keep doing this, it's going to prevent them from being able to do their thing. There's not much we can do about them having a Shifting Woodland and 4 mana, though. The most we can do is just deny them that extra bit of mana and say, hey, you're dead on board next turn. Unless you play a One Ring, and then still you're going to be taking some Annihilator triggers, so be careful. All right, founding of the third path. You got it. Oh, straight to show and tell. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I present a breeding pool. Okay, that's just a 13-13. Believe it or not the worst thing that they could have played. If we get to do the Ugin's Binding thing, we could bounce this and win. So let's go ahead and I guess we rumble first. It's pretty free to do that. Oh, there's an Omni. I mean, let's put that Omni in the graveyard, right? I don't have creatures in the graveyard. I think I could just say decline here, and then we get our own Omni, right? Alright, problem solved, as they say. Sideboard, please. I would like one Mastermind's acquisition. Alright, stole game one. The mirrors get so goofy, by the way. Game two, probably going to be pretty similar. So Force of Vigor is pretty cool because they don't have Born Upon a Wind. I mean, they're playing the same deck as us, right? There's no Born Upon a Wind here, so you can't win in response to a Force of Vigor. So that's really sweet. And then I also question whether or not it's appropriate to bring in Test of Talents. I think Stonebrand's a bit more appropriate than that. Oh, I just got the sound. They didn't want to play today. These mirrors are really goofy. All right, so once my game unfreezes, we can go look at the deck and do the recap. But the idea in the mirror is, I don't know. It's a really careful dance, and you got to be experienced with the deck to know what you're doing. You are generally trying to set yourself up to win all in one turn, and you can use cards like Stone Brain and Force of Vigor to fight back against your opponent because they generally are slow enough. All right, there we go. We get to go back. Let's look at the deck list because I do have some thoughts because I did just record the video with the Gruul version right before this one. And there's a lot of differences between the decks. And kind of down on this deck right now, especially if you saw our game versus traditional show and tell at the beginning of the video. We kind of got trounced. We don't have a weird lucky draw. Their deck is so much faster and more consistent than ours. This deck is sweet. It's still great against a lot of the field, but that show and tell mirror feels pretty atrocious, and still decks like Energy can get under your skin. Energy got under our skin today. But when we played Gruul, we were a Fury deck, and we kind of just bodied Energy, even in game one. So I question whether or not this deck is starting to become outdated tech. It really lost its rogue deck status. People know how to play against this stuff. People play Surgical Extraction. This has the unfortunate attribute, which I talked about in the Metagame Challenge recommendation video, of being at the crossfires of every sideboard card in the format. This loses to discard, this loses to Pithing Needle, this loses to Graveyard Hate. And when you play against Mardu Energy, they have like 12 cards that have one of those attributes, right? It's really unfortunate that almost all of their hate is good against you. And all the sideboard cards that are traditionally good against Show and Tell also hate on this deck pretty well. This deck does do some awesome things. Ugin's Binding is awesome. Imprinting Eldrazi into Ugin's Labyrinth is objectively very powerful. I like Devourer of Destiny shaping our hands. I love how Null Drifter is like this crazy modal spell where it's Annihilator Eldrazi, or it's just a Divination, or it blows under your Labyrinth. That's awesome. But maybe this deck needs a slight retool for the meta right now because it just feels like a worse version of Show and Tell. When we were playing the Gruul deck, it felt unique, it felt different, and it felt like there were really good reasons to play it other than, really, really good reasons to play it over Show and Tell. Whereas here, the card show and tell in this deck becomes a liability sometimes. As much as I hate to say it, this card is a liability when you are in any sort of a matchup of against another show and tell deck. Mirrors, if this deck gets really awkward, I wish we could have played it game 4 just to show you. It's really skill testing, which is awesome, but it gets very convoluted and awkward sometimes. And when you're against the actual show and tell deck, you trim your show and tells. You go down to just 1 or 2 copies. You can Fae of Wishes for the copy out of your sideboard if you do decide that you need it. And I don't want to sound too negative because I do think that this deck is awesome. I still think it's a tier deck. I would put this still probably as a tier 2.5 deck. Probably. I think it's a little better than tier 3. Like, looking at my tier list video from a while ago, if you remember. What did I put it then? I probably put it at tier 2, maybe 2.5. It probably goes down half a tier from whatever I thought it was a month ago. Um, Not that the deck has become terrible. Like, it's really sweet that we get to play Cash Grab and Founding in the current version of the deck. It just feels like that show and tell matchup falls really short, and this deck shares a lot of the weaknesses of show and tell, where there's a lot of design space to explore in the format. There's like a lot of space to explore playing Shifting Woodland, and I'm questioning whether or not just copying up Omniscience with Shifting Woodland and just being otherwise a weak show and tell is deck is necessarily the best way to go with it. You could definitely still build a Simic version of this deck. Maybe we take show and tell out of the deck and we radically rethink how to build this. This deck is awesome. The core is awesome. It's so much fun, by the way. This deck is just fun. Same with the Gruul one. I had so much fun jamming the Gruul deck. I was playing it by myself. I say this not because I hate the deck, but because I want it to be good. I wonder what we should change. I wonder what could change, really. I'm going to think about it. If you guys have thoughts, leave it in the comments, of course. Join the Discord, because we always talk about decks like this in the Discord, and we try to cook on it and see if we can make decks better. And, this deck list I have is like a month old, probably. There hasn't been any innovation in a month, or maybe at least a few weeks, maybe not a whole month. And a few weeks is a while, considering MH3 is only like 2 months old. So let me know your thoughts, leave a comment, and we'll get back to playing some wacky fun combo decks in another video. See you then.